You're about to hear from someone who has issued millions of dollars of life insurance, who in her first year struggled to issue 70,000 and this year will easily eclipse 500,000. And on top of that, she has the highest persistency, meaning when she sells a policy, it stays on the books past 13 months. Clients don't cancel. They appreciate what she puts them in, and they don't talk to anybody else because they trust her. She's going to teach you what she does to accomplish that today. Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency Call. It is my incredible pleasure to bring on our trainer for the day, Miss Heather Robeson, who's in Texas for now, who's going to tell us her incredible story about how she travels around and sells insurance at an elite level. And I don't want to take all of Heather's thunder, but a quick commercial is when she struggled in the beginning, and she'll talk about that. But this year, she should pay over $500,000 of life insurance on her own personal pen. And on top of that, the key to all of this is not how much, it's a good line in accounting and business and life. It's not how much you make that counts, it's how much you keep, right? And what Heather has done at our company of 6,980 agents that sold a policy last month, Heather is the number 2 agent amongst all of them for persistency. Meaning when she sells a policy, protects a family and puts a client in a better position, that policy stays on the books more than the other 6,978. And that is a trophy in itself. So I'm so honored to have you on here, Heather. I'm so proud of the journey you've been on, and we'll talk throughout this call, but we're lucky to have you on today. So without further ado, everyone, please drop a HR in the chat, light that thing up, show her some love. And without further ado, how are you doing today, Heather?
I'm doing so amazing. It's ridiculous. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be on this call, as well as blessed, and that's what God does for us. So thank you for, being you, and it's all God that brought us here. So thank you.
Amen. Amen. I love that. It is a journey we've all been on. And I remember hugging you and taking pictures at different events years ago. And then Trey comes along, starts singing your praises about Heather is killing it. And I'm like, Heather? I mean, she was sweet and all, she was super nice and always like wonderful, bubbly personality. But as I said at the top of the call, I was not familiar with your game. I did not know how much swagger you had, Heather. And it is a testament to opportunity, but very few capitalize at the level at which you are. And I couldn't be happier that you've done it. And I know you're happy for you doing it, but I would love if you'd kind of back us up and tell us your story about how you found insurance and what you're doing and kind of walk us through how we got to today.
Of course. So I've always done my own thing. I've always been the independent person. Ask my family members, they'll tell you I'm always doing my own thing. I've owned home daycares before. I did for 15 years. I got divorced. I got widowed in my final semester of school. I actually went to the same school Sean did. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. But I went for teaching. I basically got Mercy hired as an old lady. I was like in my 40s. I worked there at the school. I hated having a boss. That was my first job in a long time that I became non-independent. So then I kind of quit that and started homeschooling my kids, and I needed to do something from home so I could do that. So I taught online to students in China. But then that didn't, because of COVID, that didn't pan out. They stopped that program. So I started DoorDashing, and Grady, I was DoorDashing at the age of 46, and it was not something that appealed to me. I was like, and I was also moving across the country from Connecticut to El Paso, Texas, where I am right now. And funny story, you just played that integrity thing, and I live in El Paso, which is the border to Mexico, and I knew like 2 words. So I couldn't teach here because the majority of people speak Spanish. I didn't want to DoorDash. It's a big city, so I had to find something. And I was babysitting a friend of mine's kids. She actually worked with Family First Life, and I said, "What are you even doing?" And what I didn't know then, but that one question absolutely changed our lives forever. She gave me the study material. I studied for 5 days. I couldn't even study very well because I was widowed. My mind wasn't there. I couldn't read very well at that point. Like I couldn't focus, but I did it in 5 days. So if it's taking you more than 5 days and you're still studying right now, stop doing what you're doing and actually just take the practice test. That's all you have to do. It's really simple. And at that point, I then was halfway into the year. And you're right, the first year I only produced about $70,000, but that to me was a huge number. 70,000 was more than I'd ever made in a year. But then I went to convention that next year, and that's where I met you. And that's where I met everyone, or they don't remember me, or they don't maybe remember, but I remember hugging everyone. I remember taking selfies with everyone. I remember asking you guys questions. I even know some of the questions. Steve Giordano, I remember the day that it changed my business that I asked him a question. And that's what it does. Getting to these conventions is huge. It completely, that year I wrote 360,000. I missed Hall of Fame. Um, I'm not going to attribute to the sickness I got after. I'm going to attribute to my work ethic wasn't strong enough. But I missed Hall of Fame by $40,000 that year. And that just compelled me and pushed me to go to convention the next year and then do what I needed to do. Now I had my skill level. Now I knew what I was doing. Now I had to perfect it and listen to the experts and figure out what I was missing in my business. And that was last year, 2024, where I did go, I think I was 515,000, and this year will be that as well, if not more.
So, one, I'm so happy for you. I hate saying like I'm proud of you because it makes me feel like I'm like my pride for you shouldn't equate anything other than joy. I'm happy for you because you found something within yourself that the previous 40 years of your life you hadn't found. And to be at a position where you're door dashing, you're trying different businesses, you're trying to figure out, you're trying to go your own way, and someone reaches out and says, and I want to dig into that. How did that go?
It was
And
literally, she was, I was babysitting her kids, and I'm too old to be babysitting. And she was always in nice cars. She was always busy. I didn't know what she did. I really didn't. But she was raising 6 kids on her own under the age of 10. And I was like, well, shoot, if she can do that, why can't I? And I asked her, what are you doing? And that's what she said, take this test. And I was like, okay. That it was that simple. And then it was me working, right?
yeah,
That was it.
that's a good litmus test, guys. Like, I mean, everybody deserves a chance to success. Everybody deserves a chance at success. And you saw something, you saw someone who's successful, you saw someone who's juggling life, but making it happen. You want something done, give it to a busy person. Successful people are always looking for more ways to become more successful. And she goes, here, take this test, right? You want a good litmus test for people. Are they worth your time to recruit? Tell them to go get their license as fast as possible. 5 days, you took the test and went after it. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the training. We came out with this insurance sales guide just recently, over 100 pages of insight to the business from leads, mindset, product knowledge, how to cover every objection, how to get referrals, scripts presentation, huge resource. We just want to help people out there in the industry. If you're looking for some more tips and tools, click that link below. We'll send it out to you free. And here we are. So you were just open to opportunities. That's essentially where you're like, what I'm doing isn't working.
I didn't have a choice, really. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I came from a background where I already knew how to work hard. I'd been doing it my whole life. I've had to do it for my whole life. I had 3 jobs in college. But what I didn't know how was to build a successful business. I didn't know how, I never even thought about being a business owner aside from the home daycare. But that daycare had limits. You can only have a certain amount of kids. You can only work the hours that the parents are working, right? So there was a limited ceiling on that business. Here we have no unlimited earning potential. You guys have every opportunity to earn as much as you want. If you want to be like Grady, which I do, you're going to be working your rear end off harder to get the agency size that he has. You want to be like Sean, which I do, you're going to work harder to get to where you are, and you're also going to learn along the way from those people. And that's the beauty of of Family First Life, right? Is we have everybody's willing to share it. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a true testament to this opportunity, right? And I, I've got stories for days, but to see this, and I don't even want to use the word antiquated now, because it's life insurance is cool. Like, it is the coolest, funnest, hippest. And granted, again, we talk about death, and we're talking about one of the saddest, most worst things that could ever happen in a family's life. But we do bring the only positive thing in death, which is a check and some financial relief at the absolute worst day of that family's life. That's not like, let's back up for a second and look at the business, right? From a business standpoint and the result we give. But to be people that, granted, we do well financially, we're grateful for it, but we're bringing positivity, right? I like what we do. I like the avenues for IULs. I love FIAs, fixed index annuities. I love being able to put ease into a family's house with term and whole life. Like, that is a very rewarding thing. And the fact that we get paid the money we do, I mean, it is a blessing. And so, any other things that kind of molded you right to get to what? Well, I got to ask, what did Steve say that helped you jump from 70 to 360?
I had asked him, when was the right time to add an assistant? When was the right time to add an assistant? Because I was kind of on the edge, and I didn't know it back at the time, but now I know the number. Like, if you're on the edge, you're writing business, and you're somewhere around the 15,000 mark. You're balancing the calling America, being on the phone for 3 hours, with missing that time to dial, right? And so when I asked him that, he said, if you think you need an assistant, you already needed it a while ago. And I'm like, well, snapdragons. That was the first thing I needed to do, was figure out who I was going to get to help me just a couple hours a week to do that. Lo and behold, because our company is amazing, I hired my own kid, which Sean will yell at me for saying, but I did. I don't hire your kid unless they're really dang good and they're homeschooled, and they're actually more adults than kids. But I did hire my own kids, and now they're part of my team, and absolutely, I couldn't do without them. Like, they do things that most assistants won't even do, or you can't train them to be as good as they are. So
That's wonderful.
Steve
I love it.
Steve changed my
Okay.
business, because that allowed me to dial more and make more money. It just grew everything.
Yeah. 10K issue a month is a great start. Your next goal is to get to 20. When you get to 20, get us an assistant as soon as humanly possible. I would not be where I am, who I am, and I probably might even be out of the business if I didn't have Jade. And I say that as she sits 3 feet away from me, and I'm blessed every day that I get to work near her. But
Thanks,
without
Jade.
her, I wouldn't be who I am. So I agree. Get yourself a great partner for this business. So moving forward, let us talk about what you're doing today, and then we will get to the golden nuggets of the queen of persistency. What are you doing? What's your flow now to be a 500? I mean, you have a unique style at which you sell too, right? You're Texas for now, but you bounce around a little bit. I love if you'd kind of talk about the way you do it, which keeps it, fresh.
I
But
do.
what you're selling, how you're selling, structure, time, leads. Let's get into some of that fun stuff.
Sure. So the reason I say Texas for now is because I do like to travel. Now that I have the skill, and I've developed the skill to do what I do, protect my families, serve my families. I mean, I'm literally just serve for a reason. That's what we do. In my team, we absolutely just serve. And if we can't serve, we let them know we can't serve. We don't try to sell cotton candy at Chuck E. Cheese, which I used to do. We don't try to upsell, right? I mostly do veteran leads. I did try after this last convention to go all IUL. I failed miserably because I live with a veteran. Like, my husband's a veteran, right? So I have this thing with the veterans. I really care about them. I serve them in multiple ways aside from just life insurance. I have connections that I've gained through Family First Life and outside of Family First Life with veteran things. The age leads that I do use age leads. I'll buy a batch of brand new leads once a week. The rest of the week, I'm a mom. I'm always for the sales. So If sales happen, I buy new leads. I'm kind of addicted to leads. If you're not addicted to leads, it's because you're not writing enough business to pay for the leads that feed your business. So work on that one. So I do buy mostly veteran leads, social media, Integrity, whatever's on sale in Integrity Connect or Integrity Lead Center. I'll buy those. Um, and then it's not the lead. I wanted to note it's not the lead that's not working. It's really your skill level at first. You're going to get better at it if you don't give up. And then once you gain that skill, you've got to actually, plug in. And to get that skill, you have to plug in. You have to be on your Zooms. You've got to grow. You've got to put your activity in. All that stuff that you hear all the time, it's real. Once you have that skill, it's what are you going to put back into your business? Just remember, this is a business. It is not a hobby. If it's not a job either, it's a business. You have to build your business. You have to buy the French fries from McDonald's. Otherwise, if you keep eating the same French fries, that's gross. Nobody's going to come. It's the same thing as a lead. We have to buy new leads. We have to replenish our lead bucket until the lead is actually physically dead, right? Like we can help that person in many different ways. So until that lead's dead, we got to keep calling them.
Amen. So ballpark weekly, monthly budget to issue 40,000+ a month?
I would say 1,500 was what I was doing at that time. A week? Yeah, a week. Yeah. Okay. You want to at least do 1,000 if you are at that level and your skill level is there and you're making some sales on a little bit or made a sale. You want to keep reinvesting. What I always told people and still tell my agents to this day is if you're putting back 70% of the money you make into your business, the rest stays in your income, in your own personal. Those are the numbers I use. Now, sometimes that's hard when you're first starting. You can adjust it a little bit to fit your needs, but more so you have to adjust your activity to increase your money so that 30% is doable, right? But the rest of it's got to go into business. You've got to get to convention. You've got to buy that flight. You've got to buy the ticket. You've got to buy the Airbnb. You've got to buy the leads. You've got to buy the CRM, whatever CRM, if you're not using Integrity or if you're using it in conjunction with Integrity, right? Because we can do that. We can use it. We can use Integrity for everything that I'm going to tell you about. You've got to buy things for your business, grow it.
If you hadn't gone to that first convention, what do you think you'd be doing now?
Oh, gosh. Well, what I'll tell you is I don't think I would have failed because I don't like to fail.
Okay. I like that.
But what I can also tell you is that the process would have taken a lot longer for me to succeed because think of what I got around. Think of what I saw that I didn't even know was available. And I'm gonna pause for a second because remember when you held the first Ignite conference?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
My husband did not know what was happening. He did not have, you guys don't know the story, but we live 6 hours from you? He had no, I don't want to say he didn't have belief in me. That wasn't it. He thought this was all a scam.
Right. I mean, when there's thoughts that way because when you break the mold of what society is okay with, then everything it seems like it can't be because I grew up in this world, in this society, in these neighborhoods, and my parents did this and my friends' parents did this, and no one ever made $500,000 driving around an RV selling life insurance in Alaska. No one ever did that. I didn't know that guy.
And he didn't either. And I hadn't proven to him yet because I hadn't gotten my skill level. I hadn't been to enough events. So that in Ignite, that very first one, I was like, you need to come with me. And I made the guilt trip of, you can't make me drive by myself. So we drove, right? And and we have an old Jeep. It's 2000, whatever, 2007. I don't know how old it is, 17 Wrangler. And we're chugging along all the way up there. And then we come back, and on the way back, and I remember I always bring my computer with me. I got my little hotspot thing, so I'm working on the way back. He goes, well, I think we need to fix your office up. Let's order a desk. And I'm like, what? Like, now you believe me? Right? And it was because he was around people who he saw. So had I not gone to convention, I wouldn't have seen. what my potential was. If he hadn't gone, he wouldn't have seen, and it would have taken me longer to actually prove it to him, right? So it is critical. If there's one thing you do, it's a flight.
Hey there, Grady jumping in real quick. Recently, we came out with this insurance sales guide. Fantastic resource. People are loving it. Over 100 pages of insight into the business, from product knowledge to leads to full-blown scripts, presentation, referrals, and over 30 plus different objections written out word for word on how to overcome them. Just trying to help people out there in the industry. Help yourself. If it's something you're looking for some more tools and resources, click the link below and we'll send it right out to you.
To convention. Get yourself there if you care about your business.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so 1,500 a week, 6,000 a month, addicted to leads, veteran leads, a lot of different things. Any other stuff in leads that you're kind of doing before we jump into kind of the sale, what you say to move people forward?
Nope, just be consistent with your lead flow. Stop buying it once and then buying it again 2 weeks later. I do revisit my leads. So if you want a quick segment of what I do,
Yes.
I dial all my new leads after I first get them. So say 1 to 2 days later, dial all my new leads. The next day, I will revisit. So if I called them on Monday, I'll probably call them on Wednesday again. And then I mark in my system if I call them in the morning or in the afternoon. Then Thursday, I do the same thing for the next Tuesdays, and then I sort them out so that I know who I called in the morning and I know who I called in the afternoon. I call them the opposite time. Then once I've called them in the morning and in the afternoon, guys, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make.
No one tells me that, which is so makes so much sense. They didn't answer in the morning. Why are we calling back in the morning again?
Right. So then if you call them during the week and you haven't gotten a hold of them, maybe, and I don't analyze my leads either, stop analyzing your leads, but they're likely going to call answer Saturday morning or Sunday afternoon. And yes, you heard me. I said I work Sunday afternoons, and I'm 3.5 years in, and I still work Sunday afternoons for 3 to 4 hours. I have not finished what I'm supposed to do. And in the Bible, God finished in 6 days and he rested on the 7th. I have not finished, so it's not my turn to rest yet. And that's it.
That is powerful. If you got big goals, right? If you got low goals, you got small goals, you got little goals, do your little goal work. You got big old giant making up for lost time goals, you push. We got agents that set goals to make a sale every single day. And sometimes it happens in the morning, sometimes it happens in the afternoon, sometimes it happens at 8:37 at night. Got agents that have production goals, and sometimes they get it done in 3, 4, 5 days, and sometimes they're dialing for 3, 4 hours on a Sunday. This is your business. And if you have a restaurant that needs to make money, or any business in any place that you've invested in, those doors are open, because without them being open, the customers can't come in. Heather's store is open on Sundays. You don't like it? Don't go in. But if you don't like it, don't complain about the results she gets while you're enjoying time with your family or watching football, because she probably has it on in the corner or whatever she does on Sundays while she's dialing. And nothing more fulfilling than watching some football Sunday night after making $5,000. I mean,
that's 100%. 100%.
Sunday night football got a lot sweeter. So
the weekends are the best for money making, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
Amen. Okay, dial Monday, then we dial them again on Wednesday. If I dial them in the morning, I don't dial them again in the morning. I dial them in the evening, guys. These are the simple tips, and I've done 500 calls. And you think these things, you're like, I didn't, but Heather says it. Now it's like, why aren't we doing this specifically? Why aren't the CRM manufacturers adding in that dialed AM, dialed PM button? I like this.
I did it on Ringy. Thanks to Nina and Hayden. They introduced me to Ringy, by the way.
I love Nina and Hayden. So that is wonderful.